Oh my God, my blood is boiling because I was doing a search for the photo to use for the birthday message for Justin Baldoni, and then this came up. I'm going to go on a very long tangent before I show you what's behind me, because what it stirs up is one of the most damaging things that I experienced coming out of my most emotionally and psychologically abusive relationship is that people people that emotionally and psychologically abusive will use your own personality, like the best things about you against you to hurt you the worst. It's the most destructive, it's the most painful, and it's the most gut-wrenching. Because in my situation, my ability to be kind, compassionate, and even like benefit of the doubt kind of a thing was the reason why I was able to accept my person into my life in a relationship. And then in the end, when literal push came to shove and when things got so bad, then all of a sudden that was such a massive character flaw. And then he managed to flip it around and weaponize that against me. And there is nothing more cold, calculated, and awful than to realize that this person, one, never thought anything good about you, and two, knew that they were being around you because you did something for them that they would never return the favor for you. Like you come to the realization that you've been in a one-way friendship the entire time and you were showing up for somebody that was never showing up for you. And and I'm going to tell you, this is how gut-wrenching this is, because the way for me this happened, the way it expressed itself, and one of the reasons why it's so gut-wrenching and awful is because, and I've said this in other posts that I've made, that when I was watching the docu-series about Ted Bundy, the woman he was dating before he got, or as he got caught, whatever, she was giving an interview and she talked about how when they were arguing, if she got emotional, the more she got emotional and the more hurt she expressed her emotions, like the more she cried, and the more upset she got because of his behavior, because of his violence towards her, the more cold, calculated, and in control he got. And if it got to a certain degree, that's when the smirk would come out. And it just made my blood run cold when I listened to that moment, because it brought, I'm like, my brain's going there. So, because in that moment, it's literally like you are so hurt and you are so scared and you are so upset, and you can feel them. You can feel them almost feeding off of your grief and your sadness and your hurt. And they just, I can't even replicate it, but it's just like this nasty smirk, like they enjoy your hurt and your pain. And it's in that moment when they weaponize the core of who you are, the best of who you are, and they weaponize it against you. And that is so hard to recover from. There's so many layers of grief, betrayal, harm, etc., that are wrapped around that, and it lives inside of you because now that person has walked all the way directly into the center of who you are and like who you strive to be as a kind, generous, loving person. And now that person has turned it into a weapon against you. It is so sickening. And so I understand. I understand the gravity of the intensity of the emotional and psychological abuse that looks like childish, mean girl behavior on the outside, but when it's you, and not only when it's you, but when it's you to this public of a degree, and not just public of a degree, but when it is tied to dismantling your entire life or an attempt to dismantle your entire life. This man, we are lucky. We are lucky that he is surviving. Not just that he's fighting back, but that he's actually surviving what is happening. So when I saw this, my stomach dropped, because we've seen how many different ways Blake and Ryan have mocked, insulted, and demeaned this man by using his own words against him, by using his own personality against him. And this, I'm not even going to gaslight myself. I'm not going to invalidate myself. I'm not going to talk myself down from, oh no, it's probably unrelated. No, because what I think this is I think this is from his Linktree. I know it's Linktree, and he must have had his own Linktree somewhere available. I don't know how they got to this from here. I did a search result for a photo of Justin Baldoni as a kid, and this was like the side results on the page. That's how I got here. But the rest of the list is almost everything that they've used in order to mock and throw his personality back in his face. The letter that they tried to write that they wanted him and Jamie Heath to read or like put out publicly, the way that they've gone after Man Enough, the podcast, the book, everything. I think the 17-point list that they created was to mock this thing, and then everything else that they ever attacked about Justin Baldoni after that, they were using everything that was coming off of this 17 point list. Because then it makes sense, because 17 points, like, it feels like such a contrived number. And even the contents that was in that list, it felt like they were just trying to make the number 17. Some of it was either redundant or like completely unnecessary. It was just like, why 17? It's such a random number. But then if you think of the way that they've been operating, this is just one more factor that they used to weaponize Justin Baldoni's own personality and words against him. And it makes me so ill.